All right, welcome back to Blackacre Ranch, guys. So today is more stuff. First things first, we got to feed the buffalo their cubes, get them all set up. And we noticed that yesterday the mineral feeder had tipped over, spilled a bunch of stuff. So obviously it's not a perfect system. The buffalo's head got too big and the buffalo didn't like it when they were in there and spewed it. So anyway, we might need to refill some of that. We're gonna get them cubes, but our plan for cubes is to do it in a small pen, because I am not going to get blitzed again running around with all these hungry bison. So anyway, keep with us, and we've also got some fencing updates and kind of showing some other stuff.
Gotta build those muscles, little bug.
Yes! Right now we've got one buffalo that's nibbling on the hay from yesterday, and another one kind of meandering. And when we were loading some of this, the buffalo at the hay turned and kind of heard the bags. Everybody else is way yonder down the peninsula. So that's just that long flat section. So like I said, we're gonna go ahead and feed these guys the cubes. We're gonna go to that small pasture where we have a gate between them, and we're gonna try and feed them through the gate some, but in the meantime, I'm gonna unload a bunch of piles, and when we're ready, open the gate and then let them all come in. This is gonna hopefully accomplish a couple things. For one, we still have the chance to feed them through the gate, but it's better than feeding them through barbed wire, because I've been scratched many a times. The second thing is, if we make piles and we put it up there, hopefully, as opposed to just a big long line where one buffalo might push all the other ones, we might actually have an equal share or chance of some of these younger ones getting some. I got bug bites, so that sucks on my hand. The third reason, safety. Like, I can't keep walking through all these guys like that. So anyway, we're jumping on that one right now, and hopefully our plan for training will work.
Cats could definitely just walk right under this.
Right? Man, those ladies responded quick. You ready to feed, guys?
I am.
Yeah, we know. Oh, here comes the herd. They're skipping.
Trying to find not sandy parts.
I got it separated out. I think I've got 15 piles. I'm hoping they're gonna find it, but I'm gonna shake the bag. I wanna try and feed them through the fence with a fourth bag. And it might be a lot of coaxing, but I hope whenever we let the gate open and they come in here that they find all of the bundles. But Hopefully this is safer. Let's see if we can go get Bartok or Ahmed or...
One nine. Is that Ahmed?
Yep.
189 is Ahmed?
Ahmed's all about business.
Yeah. He's talking about the girls.
Ahmed is sniffing some chickies.
Yeah, we're talking about you.
Oh.
Yeah. That girlfriend kicked the wrong one.
The others just stand back because they get a little vicious up here.
6 was really
Good job, Pumpkin.
Come on. Come on.
Jeff's gonna let them in. Let's see what they do. And you know, make sure he doesn't die. There's Ahmed. Yeah. There's a lot of pokey things in our shrubs. Hi, 138. Hi, girl. Come on. Come on.
on some cubes.
There she is. There's our good little girl. Yeah. No, don't be afraid.
Gosh, man, she is freaking a pig. Number 138 has come up to us a dozen times, I swear, and just gets whole handfuls of this stuff. She is the smartest one here. Everybody else fights for it in these piles, and she just comes and gets a whole horde. So, very wise girl.
Seriously, how does she even chew that fast?
She doesn't. She just collects it in her mouth.
Don't answer.
They're not making these grunty noises or really loud about it.
Come on.
The piles are doing really good. I think sometimes it's getting in the dirt, and some are more picky than others, and we're probably losing a lot, so it's not super efficient to do this. We have really soft dirt around here. Anyway, we've seen Bartok and Ahmed. They are not interested still in these cubes. Ahmed is more sniffing chicks, and they were sparring, playing. I don't know how serious that was. They weren't grunting, but they're fun to watch as they play around. I think this was a success. It's better than running around mad with a bag. So we're gonna keep doing this, but I'm gonna find a better way to get this fed to them so it doesn't sink into the dirt so much. We fed them 4 bags. Well, one's partially open still. We stood back up, and actually there's quite a bit still in here. What I think we're gonna have to do is make this opening a little bit wider. And we're just not gonna do it right now. A bunch was face down, spilled out here on the ground. I'm gonna just try and put some of that back in there instead of opening a brand new bag. This is why they say don't put this on your prime piece of grass. Yesterday we had a guy come out here from the NRCS, and that's National Resource Conservation Society. I don't know what it means. So this is the guy that's a government agency that'll come out and they handle things like getting you grants and other things to help with the ranches, and you know, it's kind of that arm of the government to kind of assist. So anyway, they have a guy that's a grass guy, and he specializes in foliage and feed and stuff like that for grasses and what's natural in the areas, and can give advice. So we had him come out, and he spent some time with us because we're worried about making sure that we have good enough grasses, because not all grasses are created equal. We need to have good winter grass and good summer grass. And right now it's the cool season winter grasses that are still out, and everything looks fairly green, okay? You look out there and everything looks rosy and everything, but is it sufficient? Is it good quality grasses? And so we want to take you around and show you the different parts and kind of give you some insight about what he told us, and it'll kind of set up what our future plan is. Okay. Right now we're in pasture 7, and this is the top section of it, and we're just only about halfway down. When he came out, he was mentioning, when we drove him around to the different areas, and he was mentioning that especially here, it may look good when you're 20,000 feet away, but when you get up close to it, you'll find out that there's like zero topsoil. There's not a lot of foliage at all, and it's really, really sparse. And so if you look at the ground right here, this is it. And there's nothing else in this little area. And we have patches of that all throughout the different place, okay? But over here, you have a bunch of grass. And you have these little yellow tops and so forth, and you have what looks to be pretty good grasses. That's still not even fully pasture, that's not even pasture quality there either. Okay, so this top part up here, there's a lot of clay, there's a lot of ironish, lignite kind of stuff. And in fact, over in this brown area, kind of this gray stuff, that's very hard clay that just doesn't, it's like got a little crust layer on it, and it doesn't really grow anything. So the soil type that is here, there's a couple different soil types. Wherever the yellow is, these yellow top flowers, that's more of a sandy kind of soil. Wherever that isn't, that's more of this reddish clay kind of stuff that's not very suitable so much for grass. So you can see how that lines out the pasture. But he told us that we have a lot that we're gonna have to do here, but we do have some good cool season grasses, and I'll go show you those right now. At the ridge here, we start dropping down into this lower section, and this is the top, but right here we have a lot of different broadleaf grasses. I can't tell you the names, I just don't know them all. But there's a lot of these cool season grasses, a lot of the clovers, these guys. A lot of this stuff the buffalo will actually eat. And so he made the recommendation, he goes, hey, don't even mow this stuff. Right now the fencing project we're working on is finishing pasture 7. And if we can get that done in the next 2-3 weeks, bring the buffalo over and let them just go to town on this, clear out a bunch of stuff, we may find out we don't even have to mow it much. Much like you've probably seen in pasture 6, where it's pretty trimmed down and so forth. But we do have a lot of these cool season grasses, and he's pleasantly surprised with this lower area. It's just that it's not super thick everywhere. Some spots are lush, some spots aren't, and that's what we need to kind of have work on. And when we get to the end, I'll tell you kind of his suggestions of what we need to do. Right now we're on the north side of the small pasture that we had mulched out. And I brought him up here because I wanted to see this. This seems to be more of the fertile area, if I was to say there was an area on this property that's fertile. And he was telling me that all these little grasses are nice cool season grasses, and this is all over the place up here, sometimes thicker, sometimes not. But he mentioned that all of this stuff, I believe he was saying this was just, you know, thatches or bushes of Bahia grass. And different spots have a bunch, some spots have hardly anything, and it's kind of a mixed, but these are a good sign that there's a lot of these grasses. So he mentioned that we're gonna start losing a bunch of these cool seasons and we're gonna start seeing these warm season grasses coming up. He was pleased about this, but he mentioned that we have to actually work on making sure that we keep this pasture. And that's because behind us, you can see that a lot of this has a bunch of these little sweet gums or these other trees that are popping out. And the guy that we bought this property from probably spent 60 to 80 grand just deforesting all of this, removing all these stumps and doing a lot of work and money to make this kind of cleared out pasture, silvo pasture kind of style. And the NRCS person mentioned, he goes, our goal with this is to make sure that we keep this pasture and keep down these little woody trees that are starting to pop up. So the plan right here was to just mow this and get this thing kind of under control, but get rid of these big trees from taking back everything over and developing in ways we don't want. It was really nice to have him come out here because at the end of it we kind of have a plan moving forward. And so this is what the kind of the goal is this year about getting our pastures up. We have 6 and 7 going. We're gonna get pasture 6 running, move the buffalo over, chow down on all those cool season grasses, and then alternate back and forth between the two, probably for a good portion of the year. This is pastures 1, 2, and 3. This is a section on the northwest side of the property. What he wants us to do is, he said, hey, you know what, besides a controlled burn, which I think would be great, or just going to town, he wants to see how much actual grasses, Bahia grass, and other warm season grasses develop. So he says, mow this down to keep all the wood stuff down, and then he's gonna come back in June and he's gonna wanna look at it when all the warm season grasses are at their height and going. Ultimately though, we're gonna go ahead and disc a lot of this depending on where those thickets or where those patches of Bahia grass are. That's a good warm season grass. Wherever that isn't, we're gonna disc around it. I'll probably try and smooth some things and then replant probably in the spring. Then this will start growing. At that time, once this gets established, we'll move all the buffalo into these pastures and then do the same thing down there, disc a bunch of stuff, and then start doing it. And we're just gonna have to do this rotation thing until it gets going. So it was really a positive experience. And you know, one thing I liked about him was the fact that he gave kind of some suggestions on how to maybe start improving the pastures, like pasture 7, where there's like hardly any topsoil. He's like, feed all your hay in these spots and start that base going before we get to the point next year when we disc it. It was positive. So hey, if you've got an NRCS outlet area, whatever these people are, office, I'd say hit them up. You know, there's always government funding and they just give free advice, and it's been helpful. So we'll have actually some more later as we start doing this and tell you a little bit more about the whole plan and how we're doing this step by step. But all things are looking good, and it was very helpful to have him come out and give us some information before we start laying down thousands and thousands of dollars on grass seed, which we don't even know if we need it or not yet. And so, you know, it's been useful that way. So like I told you before, fencing, we have spent the last couple of days getting this fence line done here, and this is at the top of 7. We're in a rush to try and get this done as fast as possible, so we didn't want to bore you with too many videos, and frankly, there's just not time. So this is about a 350-foot line. We started up top with a double H brace, and we came down, we have one bend. And here, instead of doing the actual double H brace, kind of H brace that way and this way, we just decided to do this little kicker down and anchor it. For one, save materials. 2, it's a lot quicker, and I don't have to do the actual brace wires. If you remember when we were building this holding pen, this really small pasture, when we first brought all the buffalo in, you'll notice that all those were posts, and they were spaced every, I think, 8 feet all the way around, and it was just solid wood posts. The reason we had that was because that was going to be a small containment area. That's where we're going to put our holding pens, and we know what it's going to be, so we're going to just cordon off areas and make holding pens and put the squeeze chute there. So we built it really sturdy. Pasture 6 is different in that it has a wood post every 100 feet. And so we span 3 T-posts, a wood post, 3 T-posts, a wood post, and so forth. That was the first one that we did. We wanted to make sure it was sturdy and stable. And I think over time, we don't necessarily need to do all of that. the buffalo haven't really been pushing on the fence much at all. And I see other people that have buffalo and other things like that that just have straight up T-posts. So we're gonna try that. Partly because we're not trying to contain them in this little spot. This is the north side of 7, and we've got all these T-posts here. And if you notice behind me, it's just a wooded thicket of just nothing, okay? So I don't expect that they're gonna be even in here very much. And on the other side of the fence, you're looking at this, okay? There is nothing here that is gonna entice the bison saying, please let me go ahead and scrape my face up on barbed wire so I can get here, okay? There's no lush grasses, there's no enticement really. So this isn't a spot that we're super concerned about buffalo really trying to come in and pound away on our fence. So because we're doing a bunch of these T-posts and this is the spot that was mulched, I know that there was a lot of trees around here. There's no way in the world I'm gonna use the T-post driver, just ain't happening. So we bought ourselves a gas-powered T-post driver, and that made it a lot simpler. It's kind of a really lame design, because off is on and on is off, and some other things are kind of weird about it, but you know, when you get the hang of it, it really does make it a whole lot better on your shoulders, your body, everything, just having this. And so we went ahead and put down all these T-posts. And once we were going, hanging on the side of the truck and putting them down, it wasn't too bad. It went pretty quick. Hey guys, we appreciate you joining along with us. We're gonna actually end this here. It's getting late again. And you know, we're making a lot of progress, reaching out to the NRCS. We've got our buffalo. We're actually gonna come out and kind of explain to you kind of the upcoming things that we've got for this year that we're gonna try and get to. We appreciate you joining. If you could just be kind and hit the subscribe button. I think there's like 80% of the people who view our stuff is not subscribed. So if you could just hit the subscribe button and the like button, we'd appreciate it. A lot more to do, a lot more fencing down this west side. And then hopefully by the end of the month, we'll have everything ready for the buffalo to move over to here in time for summer. So anyway, we'll catch you next time. See you later.
With you, I wanna stay with you.